Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm coming to you from Japan, the Saitama area, and I would like you to join me. Let's try that again. Hello, welcome to Japan. Konnichiwa from Japan. I would like you to join me on a journey to the post office. I don't often go to the post office in Japan, but today I have a special delivery for my brother in New York. I happen to have a spare iPad, and he is in dire need of a replacement for his computer. So I've decided to gift him with my old iPad Pro. I know, so very kind of me, right? Well, I'm gonna bring you along on this walk to deliver this iPad to my brother and show you a little bit of the area I live in. I'll talk about a few things on the way, maybe see what we come across on the way. Who knows what we'll find? All kinds of local people doing local things, local stuff, maybe some interesting vending machines. Vending machines in Japan, to me, were probably the most interesting thing I saw when I first arrived in Japan about, 9 years ago. This is turning into a bit of a ramble, but that's okay. Just giving you a bit of background information about me anyway. I've been back and forth between America and Japan several times now. This time around, I live and work here now, and this will be just passing the 3-year mark for me this time. And now I think I'm here possibly for the long haul. It's had its ups and downs, but I make a decent enough living here. And it's a peaceful, quiet place to kind of set up shop, and then should you choose to travel elsewhere, it's nice to go to and fro from, I suppose. But anyway, back to vending machines. So vending machine culture in Japan is vastly different from the West, especially America. American vending machines, as you may or may not know, tend to have typically just drinks, and specifically one kind of drink per machine. So you'll find like just Coca-Cola will have, you know, Pepsi, sodas, things like that, or you'll have a machine that has just sports drinks, or you'll have another machine that has basically coffee drinks, things like that. Well, here you'll find that most of the vending machines have a wide variety of stuff. One vending machine can have coffee, tea, sodas, sports drinks, water. I mean, you name it, just about anything you want. I remember back in my first time in Japan in 2011, when I came to Shikoku to do a pilgrimage there with some students from my university, my teacher at the time. The most interesting vending machine I ever saw was one that had eggs, believe it or not. Some of the vending machines in more rural parts of Japan tend to have, you know, interesting things that a local person might need, you know, to cook breakfast or whatever. So in this case, eggs. Yes, there were many vending machines with eggs, and there were even vending machines in those rural parts of Japan that would make you a meal. Not just noodles, but they would actually heat up a meal, like fried potatoes, chicken, stuff like that. A full meal, actually, pretty heavy, on the cheap for something like at the time 100, 200 yen, which was not much. All right, we've arrived at the first part of our destination. So this is a Japanese vending machine. If you haven't seen one before, this is pretty average. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff in here, but I'll draw your attention first to this sign right here. Sometimes I look for this sort of thing. It says 100 yen. That's Japanese money, of course. 100 yen is roughly equivalent to like $1. So most of the stuff in this machine, well, now that I take a better look at it, not most of it, but I don't know, a third of it is 100 yen. You'll have a little sign next to all of it indicating what's 100 yen and what exactly is on the cheapest of the cheap. Then you have other stuff ranging from 100 to, it seems like 130, 120. There's Pepsi right there. CC Lemon. CC Lemon's really good. Excuse me. It's purported to contain something like, I don't know, the vitamin C content of 1,000 lemons per drink. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then you have various other things, water, green tea. That looks like a mugicha in the middle, the brown one. So wheat based, or barley tea, I don't exactly remember. Some milk tea, apple drinks, coffee drinks, just like I said, right? And you have this whole series of Boss coffee, which is very popular here. Naturally, not too bad for something in a can.
Could you try again?
Well, Siri, I wasn't talking to you, but okay. All right. Well, there you have it. There is a vending machine. If you want to know more, please let me know. I can make a separate video or something with more comments, and we can visit many more vending machines. They're practically everywhere. But they do contain slightly different things depending on where you go and where you are in Japan. The contents will vary. So let's continue our stroll. It's about 15-20 minutes from where we started, to get to the nearest post office on foot. Usually I ride on a bicycle if I have to visit this end of town, but in the interest of prolonging the walk so I can ramble on and talk more about the things you can find in an average neighborhood in Japan, I decided to walk. So what else shall we talk about? Coronavirus, that's on everybody's mind, at least at the time that I'm filming this. The differences in Japan between before the virus and now, for the most part, Japan is not really on a lockdown. As you've noticed, I'm walking around, I'm not wearing a mask. But I will say most of the people, I'll give you a look around here if you see anyone, most of the people walking around are wearing masks. I'm the only one. Oh, wait a minute. We got a brave young man over here not wearing one either. He's crazy like me. All right. But the thing I find amusing is people wear them while riding their bicycles, even out here where there's almost nobody on the streets. Doesn't seem to make sense, but I guess if it makes you feel safe, right? That said, that is one of the biggest differences between before virus and now, is that almost everyone is wearing a mask at all times, everywhere. Like I said, though, there are a handful of us that don't do that. I personally don't wear one when I'm outside like this and the area is not crowded. At that point, usually, hello. At that point, usually there's a small child and his mom, but anyway, neighborhood people. At that point, I usually just put the mask on before I go in a store or any building where there's going to be, you know, I don't know, more than 10 people assembled. So until then, I really don't like wearing the thing. It's hard to breathe through it, so I don't wear it. But that is the biggest difference. Everyone's doing it. Also, in the beginning of the whole outset of the thing, you couldn't find toilet paper. That's pretty much the same all over the world, though, I think. People went crazy, bought up all the paper-based stuff. Here, it wasn't just toilet paper. Here, it was also paper towels, anything paper-based. All right, paper towels, anything paper-based was pretty much done. It was gone. At first, I didn't know why. Then later, I found out that it was because people were using it, believe it or not, to create some sort of makeshift mask in place of not having any actual surgical masks or medical masks, because they were in short supply in the beginning, of course. But yeah, other things people would do with it, they would fold it up and stuff it in their existing masks to sort of, you know, maybe a futile a futile attempt to extend the life of the mask. But this is not uncommon here. And so for the first, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks that this happened, I was out of toilet paper and struggled to find it anywhere. It was like a search for the Holy Grail. Whenever it was around, it was gone like that. And so eventually it went back to normal. Toilet paper was no longer a commodity after a few weeks. Food was never a problem here. There was always plenty of food. There was never really any panic except for the great toilet paper panic of February. And then little by little, things started to change beyond that. Supermarkets in some prefectures, not in mine. I live in Saitama, and nothing was changed about the supermarket as far as the number of people that could go inside. But in other places, the number of people was limited to 10 or less at a time. So large queues would build up. Where my best friend lives in Chiba Prefecture, his local supermarkets were even running out of food, and they were definitely limiting the number of people in the store at the time to 10 at a time. Sometimes he would have to queue up for an hour or more just to be able to get anything, necessities, food, you know, you name it. Luckily, where I live in Saitama, for whatever reason, I'm not even sure why, we never had that problem. I live in a residential neighborhood, and I never had an issue with, enjoy that crossing, Japanese street crossing sound, lets you know that it's safe to cross. Anyway, I never had that issue in my hood. I was just kind of, nothing changed, life as usual. And then a few more weeks rolled by, and they started putting up plastic, sort of these, you know, makeshift thin saran wrap looking plastic barriers between you and the cashier. And it was mostly for, well, both of your safety, right? You know, to kind of prevent, if you sneeze or anything like that, droplets flying through the plastic, or, you know, flying into somebody else's face or mouth. I think it was a good precaution. They did it in all the convenience stores as well. Then they started sectioning off the ground. They put little pieces of tape on the floor on the way to the cashier to denote the proper, you know, social distancing space that you need to allow between you and the customer in front of you and behind you. Let's see, what else did they do? And that was done in all public spaces, mind you, all public spaces, such as the supermarkets, convenience stores, and the city halls and things like that, places where you needed to go to do government business like renew visas and whatnot, which I had to do recently as well. Beyond that, the next big thing that I noticed is the school where I work. I'm a teacher. The school where I teach, we've been basically shut down for several months now, since, God, like, I want to say early March, early or mid-March. And we have no idea when we'll reopen, so prospectively we're going to meet on June 1st to decide exactly what we're going to do. I apologize for the wind. There's some wind kicking up fiercely through here. You may or may not be able to hear me, but oh, we're about to get to the post office. It's right here. But before we go in, let me finish my lecture here. Take a little stroll around here. So, yeah, in my school, they largely decided to postpone until June 1st. Leading into that, we were doing a sort of like a wait and see approach. We wait a month, then we communicate and we see, all right, do we want to open now? Is it safe to open? Are there enough, you know, has there been enough progress or lack of cases or new infections that we should open again? And it seems like largely they're following the basic government guidance, especially of the Tokyo area. And they're just going to do, I think, what Tokyo is doing. And that said, I don't know what's going to happen now. We have to reconvene in June 1st to decide if we want to go back to business as usual yet, or even if we do, what that's going to look like. If we do, likely it'll be sort of a slow build. It won't ramp up immediately back to the way things were pre-virus, which is probably for the best. We don't want to do anything that could, you know, increase the spread of the virus or make this situation any worse than it already is. But at the same time, we were trying to take care of the students, take care of the teachers, and make sure that everybody is safe before we actually return to doing what we do. All right, and that said, if I think of anything that I missed later about the differences between the virus, here and before and after the whole deal, I will add that later. I'll let you know. But so far for now, that's it. And let's get on with trying to mail this package real quick, shall we? Oh, wait a minute. Never paid much attention to this little shop here. Might have to check it out someday. Oh, konnichiwa. Okay, here we are. JP Post. Oh no, it's closed. Oh man. Oh well. Let's see what this sign says. Okay. I'll check this later. I'll have to translate it or something because my reading of the Chinese characters is pretty bad. So, well, that's a shame, guys. I was really hoping to show you the post office, but we'll do that again later sometime, or we won't. Who knows if we have the time. So what I'll do instead then is I just noticed another interesting vending machine. We'll talk about that real quick, and then maybe we'll end right there. So let's do that. Okay. So here there's some more machines. This is children's toys and stuff. This is a really popular character. Some of you may know this guy, Shin-chan. Some others. It looks almost like Power Rangers at the bottom. Pokemon. Little of everything, eh? But here we have one thing that has not been seen in my country probably for who knows how long, maybe decades. A cigarette vending machine. They even have American Spirits. Check that out. Yeah. And then right here, there should be, a lot of these are supposed to have a system where they have to verify your identity, your age, and all that before you can buy. But I'm not sure that this one does. Here's another one. This one has a mix of American and Japanese cigarettes as well. So whoever may find this interesting, yeah. You know what? Let's take a stroll in here. Let's see what they got in here. Let's check this out. Give you a little look at what's going on in here. Confucius family. Let's check this out. What's this about? Cool. Oh, look at that. Got scenery. All right. Okay, so I think this is like a Chinese market that I didn't even know was down the street from my house. How about that? Oh, wait a minute. Here's some Korean. Yeah. It's like an overall just Asian market. Stuff from everywhere, it looks like. Cool. Very cool. Look at that. You have stuff from Taiwan. You have to buy something. Yeah, I've got some tea over here. What's this? Some Nescafe. With what I think is Korean script on it? Alright. Well, we failed at our post office run, but we succeeded in finding an interesting new shop. Fantastic, fantastic. Alright. Oh, sorry. A lot of foot traffic there. I'm gonna dip over this direction. And I just realized I didn't put on my mask. I forgot. That's my bad, but I'm not gonna linger too much longer. I'm out. As you can see, there's the plastic I was talking about. I don't know if you can see it in this wide angle lens to divide people away from the cashier. So I'll show more of that later at a convenience store or something. And I'll be sure to put on my mask when I do that. All right. Well, that's it. And maybe we should sign off right here, I guess. Let's call it. All right, it's done. I failed at my mission. It's gonna be a repeat of it at some point in the future, so I'll be back. But I'll sign off right here. Let's get a selfie with this cool statue. Here we are, like that. Okay. And I'll see you guys next time. Really, thank you very much for watching. This is my very first video ever on YouTube. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too boring. It's a shame we missed out on the excitement of the post office, but there will be a repeat of that, I assure you. And if you did enjoy it, please subscribe, hit the like button, tell me what you think, tell me what you want to see. Since I live here, Japan is my home. We can go pretty much anywhere in Japan, and if I have the time and I have the money, I'm willing to go, talk to people, show you what's going on, and show you what you want to see, as well as some of the things I want to see that I haven't seen yet. Believe it or not, I haven't seen the whole country yet. I've seen a lot of it, but not all of it. There's still more to go, so join me, if you will, if you're willing and you're able. So that's all though. Until next time, later.